Hello everybody, my name is Daulton Nelson, and today I'd like to give my thoughts on a game I have played enough of, that game being Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was developed by Sora Limited, a company most notable for being formed by Masahiro Sakurai for projects like Meteos, Kid Icarus Uprising, and the Super Smash Bros. Franchise. The game was also developed in partnership with Bandai Namco Entertainment. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was published by Nintendo, and it is a fusion between a party game and a fighting game. Super Smash Bros. As a franchise has grown to such an extent that it is a game that represents video games as a whole. Safe to say that when it was revealed that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was another entry that was coming later this year, there was a lot of excitement from fans. However, there was also a lot of skepticism that came with the announcement. Questions were being asked like, was this game going to be a port job of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U? What new characters could they possibly add? And what was the online going to be like for this installment? I even had my own fears about the game regarding the amount of content that would be in the game and what that amount would do to the enjoyability of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I generally enjoyed Smash Ultimate, but unfortunately my fears were met. And so, because this is a big game, I'm going to structure this review based off of the menu selections that you can explore throughout the game. I'll be starting with Spirits and then going clockwise. To begin, a big addition to Ultimate is Spirits and Spirit Battles. Spirits are like a merge between event matches, stickers, trophies, and other elements from previous installments throughout the franchise. Spirits can be equipped to your character to provide certain abilities or elevate their current abilities above what is normally delivered. For example, a high-level spirit can give you an extra jump while boosting both your attack and your defense. The adventure mode in Ultimate is easily the most engaging thing about the game. The mode has massive scale. The Gleam and Darkon bosses join the gallery of disturbing bosses featured throughout Masahiro Sakurai directed games. The opening cutscene of the adventure mode looks like it comes straight out of one of the endings that would be featured in a game like Drakengard. There is a fight near the ending of the adventure mode that would put a big smile on the faces of Smash 64 players who remember the schoolyard rumors about that game. Another thing to do within Spirits is the Spirit Board, which is a quick way of acquiring spirits. A big difference with these fights is that even if you win, you have to go through a shooting minigame to get that spirit, and if you fail, it makes that minigame easier. Collecting spirits can be done in a myriad of ways, from the Spirit Board to the adventure mode. You can also fuse certain spirits to get new ones, leave spirits in dojos to learn new abilities and level up, and send them out to fetch goodies for you. You can also buy spirits, but at 5 different shops. I wish the team that worked on this game merged these shops into one. Having 5 different shops is unnecessary and interrupts the flow of the game. Moving on to the Smash portion of the game, I think there are about 77 different characters to choose from within this Smash Bros. Installment. All of the characters from the previous installments make a comeback here, even the third-party characters. Of course, clones also make a comeback, only the marketing department this time around calls them Echo Fighters, but only certain ones. The rules on who is an Echo Fighter and who isn't an Echo Fighter is rather inconsistent, like how Daisy is considered one, yet Dr. Mario isn't, yet both fighters are very similar to the fighters that they are based off of. This inconsistency carries over into the character selection screen. The layout within this screen is very confusing and tries to follow a certain set of rules of ordering, but what should have been done here instead is the ability to allow the player to sort the roster in a way that they want, instead of the developers deciding what order the character selection screen should take place in. This Smash Bros. Game offers a variety of ways to play it this time around, with various rules and modes that you can juggle around with. For example, there is the Squad Strike mode, which is a lot like team battles, but the teams can consist of different types of fighters, instead of teams consisting of stocks of the same fighter. Tournament mode is back as well, and it is fine, but it lacks some essential functionality of actual tournament play. For example, there is no loser's bracket. Also, the moment before a battle takes place in this mode is a bit confusing. The game doesn't exactly communicate well what it is trying to do with this pop-up window. Another mode you can play with is Special Smash. In this mode, you can apply all sorts of different types of effects to your battles, creating some very chaotic battles that could see things like metal characters at high speeds with very high jump heights. Because I wasn't around to give my thoughts on Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, I wasn't able to give my opinion on the fights that have more than 4 fighters taking place in a battle at a time. You may know this as 8-player Smash. To me, these fights that feature more than 4 fighters is awful to play through, because the screen and the battle itself is too busy to be comprehensible. I wish the team had reincorporated either the camera zooms from Smash 64 or the outlining from Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, but instead they include nothing, and the player can quickly get lost in these very, very chaotic and busy fights. Moving on to games and more, there is the revamped Classic mode, where instead of having a general layout you would have to go through, each fighter this time around has their own Classic mode structure. There are some great details put into these, especially Ryu's, which is my favorite. The training mode is where some of my favorite additions to the game reside. Launch arcs can be rendered instantaneously. Combos and damage values are kept track of, and the landscape of the training stage is varied enough to account for different types of scenarios. The attention to detail within the training mode within Smash Ultimate is honestly fantastic, and puts a big smile on my face. Another mode within Games and More is Mob Smash. These are basically the stadium battles within the previous installments, with 100-Man Smash returning as Century Smash, and Cruel Battles also returning. All-Star mode has been streamlined into its own mode here, getting rid of what would have been a tedious mode to go through in this game if they had kept it as it usually is from the previous installments. Finally, a mode that you won't see too often within Games and More is the Challenger Rematch. What this is that if you fail to defeat a challenger for the first time, which is how you unlock characters throughout the Smash Bros. Games, then you can rematch that challenger here, but not right away, and this is where the big problem I have with this mode comes from. It used to be that you could rematch a challenger right away by just having another fight, and then after that fight, the challenger would reappear, but this mode gets rid of that entirely. If the goal was to make unlocking fighters quicker, the team has fallen flat on its face in this department. Now, in terms of the vault, I really don't have much to say about it, because whatever used to be in the vault was gutted for spirits. However, the challenges this time around are some of the easiest challenges in a Smash game yet, except for the online challenges, which I'll get to later. Most of the challenges this time around aren't as grindy as previous installments, but that doesn't mean that those are completely absent from this game. Also, I felt like the challenges in this game this time around felt more like a checklist than actually engaging content, especially with what you could unlock with these challenges felt really minimal comparative to the previous installments and what you could unlock with those challenges. Finally, there is the online component of Smash Bros. Ultimate. I am very sorry to say that I can't comment too much on the online, not because I didn't play a lot of it, but because I couldn't. Most of the time when I tried to play online in Smash Bros. Ultimate, the game would tell me that I could not play online because I needed a more stable online connection. And unfortunately, that is something I can't really change. Some commenters might point out that it is recommended that I buy the LAN adapter, but I think that video games should be at a point where we do not need additional peripherals in order to play content within the game. So basically what I'm saying is that I don't think I should need the LAN adapter to play the online component of a video game, and that applies here to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And because online can be a little hard to get into, depending on your internet connection, I imagine that depending on where you live or what kind of internet you have, then the online challenges will either be really easy to get or very hard to get. And I can't imagine what these online challenges will be like to complete 10 years down the line when Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is no longer a priority for Nintendo. However, despite not being able to play too much of Smash Ultimates online, I do know a little bit to comment on a couple of things. First of all, there is Quick Play, which is exactly what it sounds like. This mode matchmakes you with someone else based off of a general set of rules and preferences you set before the game even allows you to search for an opponent. Because of this, these preferences will not always be met, which can have some disastrous results based off of what kind of Smash player you are. For example, if you want to play in an online battle with no items, sometimes you might actually get items. Finally, there are the battle arenas that act like lobbies where you and your player partners can fight each other and spectate on battles. Unfortunately, there is no voice communication functionality within Smash Ultimate. Instead, that has been gutted and put into some phone app that you are not going to get because you already have Discord, Skype, FaceTime, or some equivalent software. The way that the team has structured the online is actually really frustrating. I felt like the way they structured their online within Super Smash Bros. For Wii U was actually very ideal, and that it didn't need to be changed. There has already been some negative outcry on how this online has been met, so I very much encourage you to go out and look at some of the comments that people have been voicing about how the online has been structured and have been dealt with from Nintendo. Overall, I generally enjoyed Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's still the same fun Smash Bros. Formula here. And with the adventure mode, I think that the team has introduced a lot of creative ideas into this Super Smash Bros. Game, but past the spirits section of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it feels like this is a Super Smash Bros. That is more business than usual than it is a new and fresh take on the franchise. That's why I'm going to give Super Smash Bros. Ultimate a final score of a 7 out of 10. That concludes my review for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. If you like my reviews, you can like, comment, or subscribe. I also have social media links down in the description below, as well as a link to my online portfolio where you can see game design works that I have done. And with that out of the way, please make sure to have a great rest of 2018.